The protagonist receives an old, cracked clock in a dusty wooden box, engraved with, "Time rewinds for you alone." As he winds it, the hands start spinning wildly on their own. Shadows stretch across the walls unnaturally, the air grows heavy, and his breathing echoes like someone else is in the room. Invisible hands seem to reach into his mind, pulling out childhood memories, leaving an emptiness that makes his chest ache. He presses the clock's buttons, trying to fix a minor mistake at work. Time slows unnaturally, and the mirror shows his reflection as an older, hollow-eyed version of himself, stripped of all his memories. Seconds loop and twist, each replay more distorted and terrifying. He screams, but no sound emerges. The clock steals his voice, and he feels fragments of his very existence vanish with every silent second. Panicked, he throws the clock across the room. Its hands stop briefly, but shadows of his past failed attempts appear, repeating each myth. He wakes at home, but everything is subtly wrong. The pictures on the walls depict moments he doesn't remember living, faces twisted and expressions warped. The clock ticks softly in the corner, each second pressing against him like a weight. He touches a photo, and it dissolves in his fingers, taking with it a memory that he will never recover, leaving a hollow ache of loss. Touching the clock again, he sees a friend appear in the mirror, but their face is grotesquely distorted, lips moving before speech. Reality bends. Events he has yet to live flash before him, horrific and confusing. The clock hums faintly, almost sentient, reminding him that every attempt to fix or change the past carries a terrible, irreversible cost. And a shiver runs down his spine as he realizes midnight strikes, and the air thickens as if time itself has become heavy. His hands grow numb, and memories begin evaporating, slipping from his mind like smoke. Shadows creep along the walls, stretching and twisting unnaturally. His childhood pet materializes, only to slowly fade into transparency. Each tick of the clock seems to claim another fragment of his existence, a chilling reminder of its relentless hunger. He attempts to leave the house, but the hallway stretches impossibly long. Each door he passes shows a different version of himself, broken, hollow, or screaming silently. The clock's hands spin violently, faster and faster, mocking his panic. Every familiar object becomes grotesque and alien. He realizes escape is impossible, and the walls themselves seem to conspire with the ticking instrument of torment. Sitting at the table, he sees his favorite cup slide across the surface as if pushed by unseen hands. The clock spins backward with unnatural speed, and he feels days vanish in moments. The room warps subtly. Chairs lean at impossible angles, shadows twist in impossible geometries. He tries to hold on to reality, but every attempt fails. The clock is not only reversing time, it is erasing his grip on life itself. He looks at his phone, and notifications appear that never existed, messages from futures that may never come. Each alert drains a small, intangible part of him, a feeling, a memory, a fragment of identity. He stares, heart pounding, realizing the clock is consuming him bit by bit, leaving behind only the empty shell of what he once was. Panic claws at him as he struggles to comprehend its power. Attempting to undo a minor argument, the room spins violently. His reflection in the mirror screams, but no sound emerges. Every motion, every attempt to fix a mistake drains him further, twisting reality around him. The clock ticks relentlessly, its hands moving in impossible rhythms, showing the terrifying consequences of meddling with time, each one more horrifying than the last, and he feels his sanity slipping away. The walls pulse subtly, like a living heartbeat. Each pulse makes his memories flicker and vanish, flashes of cherished moments disappearing instantly. He realizes the clock does more than reverse time. It erases his very existence, leaving only hollowness. The room bends around him, familiar objects twisting in grotesque ways. He feels the weight of inevitability pressing down, suffocating and relentless. Outside the window, he sees himself walking down the street, a version from weeks ago. He waves, but it does not respond. Time has splintered, past, present, and future overlap in horrifying chaos. The clock ticks steadily, the only constant. He is trapped, unable to anchor himself in reality, powerless as the moments he knew slip into alternate fragments of what could have been. Desperate, he smashes objects around him. Broken shards float, reassemble, and vanish instantly. Each piece carries a memory, each memory stolen by the clock. The walls seem to pulse, the air thickens, and every action he takes feeds the relentless devouring of his life. He realizes the more he struggles, the faster the clock consumes, mocking his futile resistance. The clock glows red. Its hands spin backward and forward at impossible speeds. He touches the floor, fingerprints vanish. He touches his reflection, it blurs and distorts. Every fraction of identity he holds begins to crumble. The room itself seems alive, feeding off his fading essence. He understands, with a chill deep in his bones, that resisting the clock only accelerates his erasure. He writes frantic notes to remember what is slipping, but the ink vanishes as soon as it touches paper. Every attempt to preserve himself is undone in seconds. The clock hums, calm yet terrifying, mocking every effort. Panic rises to terror as he realizes that memory, emotion, and even thought are temporary constructs, all devoured by the relentless, malevolent instrument of time. Closing his eyes, he hopes to pause the nightmare. When he opens them, the room is unfamiliar. Every object is subtly wrong, skewed, almost alive. The floor shifts slightly beneath his feet. Shadows crawl against walls that weren't there before. Time bends violently around him, and he feels the clock controlling past, present, and future, leaving him stranded in a distorted reality he cannot comprehend. A photograph falls from the wall. Faces freeze in silent screams, eyes wide with terror. He reaches for it, but the image dissolves into the clock, vanishing as if it never existed. Every fragment of the past he tries to hold onto slips away, leaving him emptier. He realizes the clock doesn't just reverse time. It consumes existence itself, a predator feeding on every part of his being. His reflection steps forward independently, whispering memories he cannot recall living. The room darkens further, the clock's glow pulsing like a heartbeat. Resistance is futile. He cannot act without losing more of himself. Every attempt to grasp reality drains him. The clock is rewriting his identity, fragment by fragment, leaving a hollow, terrified shell of the man he once was. He throws the clock, desperate for freedom. It returns instantly, spinning on its own. Each attempt to escape strips another vital memory, a smell, a feeling, a name he cherished. He is losing pieces of himself faster than he can comprehend. The clock ticks with cruel precision, mocking his helplessness, proving that struggle only accelerates the inevitable. Darkness falls, swallowing the room. Shadows lengthen impossibly, twisting around him. He watches his reflection age rapidly in the mirror, moments of his life collapsing into nothing. Every tick of the clock reverberates like a hammer, undoing him piece by piece. Panic overwhelms his mind as he realizes time is unraveling him completely, leaving only the terrifying certainty that there is no escape. Exhausted, he realizes even thinking costs him fragments of himself. Words vanish before forming. Emotions flicker and die, leaving a hollow emptiness. Each attempt to focus, to remember, drains more life. The clock ticks relentlessly, rewriting his very identity, leaving him nothing but a fragile, terrified shadow of the person he once was, trapped in an unending nightmare of time itself. A loud chime echoes through the warped room. His childhood home appears before him, but every detail twists grotesquely. Faces, furniture, floors, all distorted. He reaches for someone familiar, but no one is there. Every memory he clings to slips through his fingers. The clock has claimed all he loved, all he was, leaving only the cold inevitability of its endless ticking. Time fractures further. Multiple versions of himself collapse silently around the room, their expressions twisted in eternal horror. He watches helplessly as the clock erases their existence, and he realizes he might not exist much longer either. The walls close in, shadows stretch unnaturally, and panic swells. There is no rescue, no rewind, only the cruel certainty of annihilation. The clock's hands stop suddenly. Silence. The room lies frozen. He reaches to grasp it, but his hand passes through thin air. Unanchored, unmoored, he feels completely detached from reality, tethered only to the faint memory of ticking. Every heartbeat is hollow. Every breath feels borrowed. He cannot move forward, backward, or escape. The clock holds him in limbo between life and oblivion. The clock rests quietly on the floor, deceptively calm. He tries one last time to pick it up. His body shimmers and fades, memories evaporating like smoke. Reality collapses around him. The clock ticks softly, eternal and malevolent. Then, nothing. All is gone. He has ceased to exist, leaving behind only the ticking echo of a life undone by the relentless, horrifying power of time itself.